You may know that hair coloring is a fun and popular activity to do. But did you know that people have been coloring their hair for thousands of years? Heroes of ancient Greece used harsh soaps and bleaches to lighten and redden their hair to the color that was identified as honor and courage. Today, people use dyes and bleaches for many reasons to enhance or change their natural hair color. But what really happens to these strands on the top of our heads when we change them? Hair is fine, thread-like strands that are made up largely of dead cells, with only a few live cells growing from the skin. These strands are far more complex than they appear on the surface. Each piece of hair has two regions, the shaft and the root. The root is below the surface, anchored into the follicle, and the shaft is the above the surface portion. A pigment called melanin is found inside the hair, and it's what determines a person's hair color. You will find two kinds of melanin in the hair. Eumelanin, the most common and responsible for hair shades from brown to black, and pheomelanin, responsible for yellowish blonde, ginger, and red colors. The lighter someone's hair, the less melanin there is. Older people lose the melanin pigment in their hair as they age, making their hair look gray or white. If you are wanting to go from a lighter color to a darker color, you will first have to use a bleach to strip off your darker hair color. The bleach will basically pulverize the outer layer of your hair so it can strip your hair of its natural color, leaving the color to be almost white. Before any permanent color can be deposited into the hair shaft, the cuticle, or outer layer, first must be opened. To open the cuticle when using a permanent dye, tiny molecules called ammonia enter all the way into the cortex, where they react and expand to a size that cannot be washed out. On the flip side, semi-permanent and temporary hair dyes cannot dramatically change your hair color because they do not have ammonia in them, but they can still give you a slightly different color. A semi-permanent hair dye contains tiny color molecules that enter the hair's cuticle, or outer layer, and go into your hair's cortex without expanding. They don't interact with your natural pigments, unlike permanent hair dye molecules. And since the molecules are small, they eventually exit the hair shaft after several shampoos. It's amazing to think about how long hair coloring has been a part of human life. Thousands of years ago, people dyed their hair so they could be identified with a certain noble quality. Today, people dye their hair so that they can stand out, express themselves, or to just have a change. You can permanently dye your hair any color, pink, blue, yellow. There are so many options to choose from. Speaking of hair coloring, should I go flaming red or emerald green?